All right, so the Milwaukee Bucks have done it. They have taken game 4 and they have officially tied this series at 2 apiece. Woo! Thank goodness. I was scared. They get the 109-103 victory. I was very scared that the Bucks would lose this game because had they lost this game, they'd be down 3-1 and the series is officially over. People can say whatever they want to say about this series, but if this goes 6 or 7, I feel like it's a good series. Yeah, I know everybody wanted Lakers versus Nets because they wanted LeBron versus KD. And yeah, these finals aren't exactly interesting to the casual fans, but to people who are actual fans of basketball, you're enjoying this series so far. Though tonight, this game was a little bit frustrating to see. So let's get the guys out the way. Players of the game. For the Milwaukee Bucks, it was Chris Middleton. Giannis did his thing with 26 points tonight. You expect that from Giannis. But Chris Middleton showed up and dropped 40 points tonight. This is the Chris Middleton they're going to need. If he can show up and play like a superstar, this Bucks team can very well win the championship in 6 games. This is what the Bucks need to see from him. And he needs to continue to play this way. He needs to continue to play this way. Absolutely doing his thing. Down the stretch in the 4th quarter, this man was hitting bucket after bucket. He was coming up clutch. This is exactly what they needed to see from him. Chris Middleton needs to be consistent and he needs to show up more. He was balling tonight. He looked like a superstar. He took over this game, came up clutch, and he was a big part of the Bucks finishing this game on like a 9-0 run or something like that. They just went off, they took off, they did their thing, and they closed this game out. Good on Chris Middleton. The other player of the game was Devin Booker. Unfortunately, he could not get the win tonight, but he had an amazing game. He scored 42 points, and he was absolutely flawless tonight. Absolutely flawless. The only thing that sucked was that he was actually in foul trouble. The fouls were killing him, and it cost him to really miss a lot of times because he was the only one that was really holding up their offense. He did everything for them tonight. Despite a beautiful performance, it is what it is. In fact, tonight he actually passed. Tonight he actually got the most amount of points a player has ever had in their first playoff run. So good on him. Like, he had an amazing night. Just an amazing night. I think he also put up the most points in a finals. Or at least the most points most points the Suns players put up in the postseason run. What, 530 something? I don't remember the number. But Devin Booker was amazing tonight. And unfortunately, his team didn't show up. Now let's actually get into their games. For the Bucks, the story for them was the 3-point attempts. My God. Just all around. They shot terrible from the field. Honestly, they should have lost this game. They shot 35% from the 3-point line. And they were somewhere between 46 or 47%. Maybe even lower than that. I think they were actually 45% from the field. They shot terrible as a team. Jrue Holiday tonight was flat out garbage offensively. Defensively, he's always shown up. He's always been there. He's always been a great defender. He was doing his thing tonight defensively. Great defender. He was harassing Devin Booker. He was definitely harassing CP3 because CP3 couldn't get anything going. But yeah, Jrue Holiday was doing his thing defensively, but he was awful. He was like 0 of 5 or 0 of 6 from 3. He shot terrible from the field. He was a liability offensively. He couldn't do anything. Though he was making some nice passes, so I'll give him that credit. But overall, he was just bad. He was really just bad. Offensively. Defensively, he did his thing, which is what he always does. So is anyone surprised to see him show up defensively? But yeah, other than that, Brook Lopez pitched in. I think he had 10 points tonight. He did his thing. Connaughton scored 11 points off the bench, so you got to love that. He had a couple of important threes down the stretch, so good on him. And overall, the Bucks as a unit, they found a way to close this game because it was a sloppy game. They shot so poor from the field as a unit that honestly, when you compare their field goals or their shooting percentage to the Suns, it's different. I believe the Bucks are 45% and the Suns are 52, 53%. So when you got one team shooting 45% from the field and another team shooting 52, 53% from the field, you would assume the team that shot 52 or 53% from the field would win the game, right? Well, not if you're turning the ball over 17 times. The Suns turned the ball over 17 times. First of all, Chris Paul, where were you tonight? Where were you tonight? You were a no-show. You had 10 points. And like four of those were in no, not four. Two of those were in garbage time. You had 10 points tonight. You shot like 3 of 13. You were horrible. I looked at you in the first half. You played terrible. And I was like, okay, he's not playing so well in the first half, but I expect CP3 to step up in the second half and show up and do something. He didn't. He didn't show up. No one else showed up. DeAndre Ayton was nowhere really to be found. Bridges didn't have much of an impact. Cameron Payne, nobody was showing up and doing anything. It was just a Devin Booker show. But what they were doing was turning the ball over. How are you going to turn the ball over 17 times in a game and expect to win? It was a sloppy game all around. One was shooting horrible from the field. The other was turning the ball at an alarming rate. 7 turnovers at the first half. 7. You had 7 turnovers in the first half. In game 3, you had 6 turnovers going into halftime, and we expected you to make adjustments and lower those turnovers. You did. But in this case, you increased that. You had 7 turnovers in the first half, and you had 10 in the second half. Are you kidding me? The game is tight. We're under a minute. CP3's got the ball, and for some reason, he just trips. Over what? I don't know. He trips, he falls on the floor, the ball is stolen, and they take advantage, and at that point, the game's over because Chris Middleton puts up a layup to give them a 4 or a 5 point lead. I mean, at that point, it's basically over. What is going on with the Suns? What's with all these turnovers? 6 turnovers in the half in game 3, 7 turnovers now in the first half here, and then 10 turnovers in the second half, 17 turnovers in total. You have been turning over the ball at an alarming rate. What is wrong with you? The Suns need to get it together. The Suns need to get it together. This was garbage. The team as a whole played like trash. Devin Booker did his thing, and the team as a whole, they played like trash, man. They played like trash. They were awful tonight. They were absolutely atrocious. They were embarrassing. Monty, you know your team out here turning the ball over 17 times. You know you can't have that. Talk to these guys, man. Talk to them. 17 turnovers? Oh, my God. Do better. Do better. But yeah, the Bucks, despite this being an ugly game, despite this being just a terrible, rough, turnover-filled game, the Bucks come out with the victory, and now the series is tied up at 2 apiece. So what happens now? Well, I still have the Suns winning this in 7 games because I feel that the Milwaukee Bucks can go and win a Game 5. I really like Milwaukee for a Game 5. I feel like they're going to get 1 game in Phoenix, and I'm looking at Game 5, and I think that's a great opportunity right there. I think Milwaukee can take Game 5. However, I still have the Suns in 7, which means I think the Suns can win on the road and force a Game 7. I have thoroughly stated this. I feel it's a situation where either the Milwaukee Bucks are going to win in 6 games or the Phoenix Suns are going to win in 7. So it's either Bucks in 6 or Suns in 7. I chose Suns in 7, and I still think the Suns can win this series. However, they need to tighten up and get it together because this is ridiculous. 17 turnovers, this is ridiculous. 17 turnovers, ridiculous. You can't be turning the ball over this many times. That is absolutely pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. You have to be better than that. 17 turnovers. You've got to be better than that. Get it together, Phoenix. Get it together. You have home court advantage still. This is still your time. This is still your moment. You have 2 of the last 3 games in your house. All you need to do at the end of the day is defend home court. Because when you look at it, both teams just defended home court. Like I told you guys at the end of game 2, if I'm the Bucks, I'm not going to panic because all the Suns did was defend home court. We could easily come back to Milwaukee, win 2 games in our house, and now the series is tied. And guess what? That is exactly what happened. The Bucks defended home court the same way the Suns did, and now they're tied up 2 apiece. So now it gets very interesting. Can the Milwaukee Bucks go on the road and win a Game 5? Because if they can do that, they'll have a chance to end this series and win the championship on their home floor. As for Phoenix, you got to win Game 5 no matter what. You've got to win Game 5. Game 5 is going to decide this series. If the Suns can win Game 5, they're going to win the championship because no matter what, if they don't win Game 6, Game 7 will be in their house and they're not losing in Phoenix. If the Bucks win Game 5, they're finishing this off in 6 games, and the Milwaukee Bucks will be NBA champions. So either way, it's coming down to the wire. If you're not a fan of this, oh well, we'll see you next year. Just wait for LeBron and the others to come back when the season starts. But if you're a fan of basketball, you've been enjoying this, you can't wait to see how this is going to go down. This was a sloppy game, but at the end of the day, this was the closest game we've seen so far in the series. It was competitive, and it came down to the wire. Though, the turnovers need to be fixed, so we'll see what happens with the Suns. But with that being said, series is tied. It can go either way. That is all I got. Thank you guys for watching. If you rock with this type of content, make sure to subscribe, like the video, share it. You know how we usually do that stuff. With that being said, that is all I got, and I'm out of here, man. Peace.